crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. It is time for another episode of Two Pastors and Their Guests, Keeping It Real. We got a new name for the show on today, Charles. So we kind of changed the show a little bit from Two Pastors and a Guest to Two Pastors and Their Guests, Keeping It Real. And right now we're waiting for our guest. Was having a little bit of technical difficulty here. So we were just giving him a few minutes, so I went ahead and let the song play on just a little bit for us today to get us started. We'll give him a minute for his technical difficulties. You know, with all the protection and the COVID thing, we're all having to stay at home and do things remotely. So our guest today is having to remote in from his iPhone, and apparently they don't always work perfectly. So welcome everybody to the show. It's Friday, man. It is Friday. So wanted to give a quick shout out to my co-host, my friend, my brother from another mother.
Yes.
Same father.
Same father. That's it.
Yeah. Pastor Charles E. Matthews Sr. What do you say, Brother Charles?
Man, brother, I'm blessed. As always, you know my story, man. It's a blessing to be in the land of the dying.
Yeah.
Working our way to the land of the living.
That's right.
And
That's right.
And I'm out on the lake with my fishing pole. So, you know, you see me in the back there.
Well, it looks like another guy. Looks just like you, though.
Yeah, it's my twin. You know?
Your twin. So you're out there. Were you out there fishing today too? Did you get to do something?
No, I didn't do nothing today. You know, that's another day, but you know, I figured I put it on here for today.
Oh, let me also give our little shout out while you were going there. I'm gonna get us our little watch party going too, so it'll help pull in some more people to know that we are here and ready and watching. And if you at home and those that are watching right now on Facebook, make sure you like our page, send us some texts and some messages. You can also email us at info at briancalliesministries.org. info at briancalliesministries.org. And we'd love to have you on the show. Let me see here. We're still waiting for our guest to pop on. So did you guys get a little bit of rain there earlier today, Charles?
Man, we got a little rain, but we got more of a wind so strong it actually blows some trees down. This one tree floated down on the car, blew mailboxes off the stands, and blew our chairs in the front yard all over everywhere, and our plants and stuff. Man, we had to go out there and grab the plants and bring them in the house because they were just blowing everywhere, man. So man, and you know, but we did get it, but it didn't last a long time. It lasted just as you know, to kind of give a little rumble and a little hard winds, and then it went on and passed over, and then it rained maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and that was the end of it.
It wasn't too bad. So I was going to show you guys. So I have a friend of mine who has a house on the lake here, kind of by us, pretty close to us, and this is what the lake looked like. Let me see if I can share that screen with you here. and show what that screen, what that rain looks like there.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow.
So it kind of hit pretty good. This is what the rain looked like about an hour and a half ago.
Wow.
And so, you know, it's calmed down a little bit since then. So
yeah,
it's not,
yeah,
it's not,
pretty
it's
rough,
not
that, man.
too bad. So
that's not the lake. Is that you said that's not 4 so that's not the one in Mississippi, is it?
no. This is just right over here by actually where our guest is calling in from, and that's probably why he's having trouble. Is so I'm gonna show you that one too. So this is kind of view, and just before that we had another one. There we go. So it's gotten a little bit nicer now. It's not going near as bad as it was. So anyway, that's probably why he's having so much trouble getting on.
Yeah.
And but we've got him back again now.
Yeah.
And just gonna unmute him here. Whoop.
We didn't want to wear again.
I hope we're able to put him on today.
Yeah, he didn't want to wear again, man. It looks like it's an act up on him again. Yeah, actually, we didn't do much. And my wife, we walked the first time we walked about right around we walked 6 miles at first. We you said what, babe?
So
yeah. But anyway, and then after that we just walked about 2 miles. Right before I came in and got on here with you, we walked 2 more miles. So, you know, we got out walking, and actually I was walking with a 25-pound training vest on.
a training vest.
Yeah.
They're trying to lose weight kind of training vest, or?
Well, no, we actually don't really for you lose weight. Just kind of conditioning vest that kind of helps you tone up. It's a toning vest. Tone up your muscles and your balance you out and everything like that. You know, that your triceps and biceps and your shoulders and all that stuff. You know, kind of strengthen them and all that kind of stuff.
Well, good deal. Good deal. Well, guys, it is Friday, and you are on the air with 2 pastors, their guests, keeping it real. And we have a great guest with us tonight. He's a first responder. His name is Justin Bronco, and we're going to just talk to him about some of because today is a special day. It's Friday. It is time for Friday Facebook post flashbacks. So every once in a while, there's some people that are bold enough to say what they feel and what they think, and they put that on Facebook to get the world to understand or to see or to get their point of view or whatever. And what we're going to do is we're going to dive in the mind of that. We're going to figure out what in the world was he thinking when he posted some of these posts, and let's see if it's something we can get a little bit of clear understanding of. We can get a little closer to understanding what he's saying, or we might totally disagree with this, but we'll just see exactly what happens. We're still waiting for Justin to be able to come back on. And like I said, that storm kind of hit him pretty good. So we might have a little bit of hard time.
Like in our participant area, bro, he just on mute looked like. Now he's back out again. So.
Well, he's using an Android. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm not into Androids, but I'm not into Androids. So I've always been
watch yourself.
Having a hard time with liking them.
Watch yourself. You know, I mean, I'm having a hard time with liking his iPhone, but you know, but I do what I do.
See,
with it.
There you go, bro.
You know, I mean, you know, hey, I think all of them have their peaks and perks.
Well, that's true. Oh, and then I wanted to say quick little shout out. We can do a quick early shout out. So our we always have a charity sponsor for the day. Our charity, not sponsor, our charity shout out. And our charity shout out for today is, let's see if you can see that, USISB, Human Trafficking Special Crimes Unit. So USISB, there it is right there on the other side of the cup. I want to give a shout out to Steve Ball, Bill Henry, and in fact, Bill Henry, we're going to have something special, guys, on Monday. So on Monday, it's obviously Memorial Day, right? To remember those that have put their life on the line, those that have died, those that have sacrificed in order to make you and I as free as we are today. And so it's going to be really exciting. We're going to have something special for the veterans. We're going to have several people who are veterans from the armed forces. Duke Henry is going to be one of them. And we have another who retired from the Army, and she was amazing. She was a nurse for 23 years. And one of the, I don't know the rankings of all that goes, but she's really respected and worked on that side of things. And then we also have, Charles, don't we have your, somebody, your dear to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try my best. And I'm pretty sure he'll do it if he don't have anything else going on. I know he'll definitely love to be on that with it, because he love us. So I'm gonna try to get my father-in-law to speak on something pertaining to veterans, because that's what he's retired also, from the military, the Army. So I'm gonna talk to him. I'll talk to him if not later tomorrow, and hopefully we can have him on there with us also. I'm pretty sure if he don't have anything to do with it, he'll be on there.
Well, awesome. Well, buddy, we're looking forward to it. This is going to be a great time. Trying to see if we can't help Justin to get on here a little bit. It's going to be kind of a different show if we can't get Justin to be able to pop in here. And so he's working on it, guys. That storm kind of hit him pretty good. They knocked their electricity out, and their electricity's still out. So
yeah.
So that just kind of hit through us, and so we might have to reschedule Justin there.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, it's a great thing to kind of talk about a lot of the schools and the students that are graduating.
That's true.
Give some shout outs to them and encourage them, because I've heard a lot, and we'll just do this right now if it's okay.
Yeah, please do.
Because what is I've heard from some of the graduates' mouth myself, and even have seen the disappointment with them in their faces because of the way things have had to change, and they can't have a normal graduation the way we had one. We all in the years that have passed and have had a normal graduation to the point to where they get to have all their family there, their friends and loved ones, and they get to walk across the stage with everybody there and enjoy that proud moment while their parents and loved ones and friends and other people, family and loved ones and friends are enjoying that proud moment with them, of being able to experience the fact of graduating and feeling special. So a lot of young people that I've talked to, they are very disappointed. Some of them are even, angry and a little bitter toward the fact that they can't graduate because, all children, they ain't understanding this, because see, I always say this is one of those what we call a once in a lifetime moments, because now they'll never get
doing your graduation procession stuff.
Right. Because see, and they'll never get to graduate from high school again. So they can never get that moment back to the point to where they can share it and look back on it like we did, and the people that came on after us did, as far as a year ago, they was able to walk across the stage. Even even in December, my wife, she graduated from college, and she got a chance to walk across the stage. We all got a chance to be in there together, and it was I'll say some thousands of people in there for the graduation, and it was awesome, man. And even her, because they had different graduating classes in there, but man, there were so many graduates themselves. So, and it was an enjoyable moment. And afterwards, we got a chance to do the pictures. She got a chance to walk across the stage. We got a chance to take pictures of and record the whole graduation, take pictures, and things like this. So now that I think about it, it really bothers me to know that the children are so disappointed. And I can understand where they're coming from, because this is a moment that's really special to them. And being that they can walk across the stage normally, in a normal fashion, it have really affected. I mean, this is something to really think about and talk about, and because it have really affected our children. So we need to really pray much for them. And even ones, if you don't, you know, believe in prayer, man, if you believe in encouraging, man, encourage them, you know, man, you know, because the fact of the matter is that even with the way things going, ain't no telling the ones that's planning on going to college, ain't no telling when that'll get a chance to happen. Right now, they don't even know for real, you know, when it's gonna get a chance to happen, because everything is out of the norm right now. It's abnormal. So with that being said, you know, there's so many things that have changed, that have affected our world, so our people in the world, so, and even the world, you know, to the point to where, you know, it's devastating to see young people disappointed, being depressed. Some of them don't even want to even care about receiving a diploma. After all this time, they have worked so hard for it, but yet at this point, they really don't even want to. They said, I don't even care about the diploma, you know. And they're some of them are even going into depression modes. They're doing you know, things that's out of the norm for them, because they're bitter inside.
Well, let's talk about that a minute. So are the schools, and I haven't really looked into it yet, but I know that one of the people, like the one that's going to be on with us today, Miss Callies, she is going to go today. She went over to the schools, and they're doing a parade for the children that have graduating. So they're doing a big, long vehicle type of parade. So they do a drive by, everybody honks and waves and that kind of stuff. I know they're doing that, but I'm curious, what are they doing? Are they what's the alternative? Like, they can postpone it till another couple months? Is that what they're thinking?
No. Well, some of the schools, that's like they doing online. They're doing an online thing.
Online graduation?
Right, they're doing online graduations.
And that's kind of cool too, right? Because they can get people that can show up that normally can't show up.
Right, but right, that's true. But you know, to us, that's a good thing. We understand it, and that's good for us. But online, they doing individual families.
Individual.
It's not everybody in the same place there. In other words, watch this. Let's just say my daughter was getting ready to graduate high school Monday. What happens is that they would take me, my daughter, my wife. It's only 4 guests. You can only have 4 guests. That's the limit. Me and my daughter.
4 guests in the thing?
On the online. Yeah.
Well, that's stupid. No offense. What's the benefit of that?
Yeah. And watch this. Then they have to have their masks on. Cause watch this. This is what they do. Now,
4 people in a room at a time?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And they're doing that. Now that I get. I thought you meant that 4 people is allowed on Zoom at a time. And I'm like,
no, in a room. No, in a room at a time. And watch this.
That makes sense. I'll take back what I said. That totally makes sense.
Right. And they still giving them their plume. But I know you're right, and I'm with you. It makes plenty of sense. But what I'm getting to is that it makes plenty of sense to us, and we understand it. But these children, these students that have worked so hard, all 4 years long, to graduate and look forward to a graduation ceremony with all of them, as many of their family and friends there as they possibly could have there to support them and participate. They can't have it. So to them, it's a whole different ball game. But to us, we're like, wow, that's still good. But to them, it's like, that ain't fair to us. See, that's what they're feeling.
Well, I mean, I get it. I hate it for them. I mean, I wish I could put out a magical thing, but the only other alternative, I guess, is just to throw away all of the protection, and everybody
Right, that's
just
true.
pretend like there's nothing wrong, and you're kind of going against a lot of what the governor said, what the mayor might have said, with the I mean,
Right.
I the alternative kind of sucks. I don't know really what they can do.
Yeah. And that's true, bro. But I guess what I'm trying to get at though is I'm trying to make sure that as adults, parents, and grown people, we understand, you know, from our point of view. But I also want to make sure that we do understand their disappointment, their frustration, and take into consideration that they need some real encouragement right now. Because no matter what we say and how we get it, and we say, well, we understand why they're doing it. See, they may understand why they're doing it too, but that don't stop the fact of that it have disappointed them so, because they still feel like it's unfair to them. So we got to be mindful and aware of the fact of that we need to do something to make sure that we continue to encourage them, to try to help them to understand even more. And I think that this is me. I think that what they should do is, although they're doing the diplomas now and giving them their diplomas, they're doing it, you know, a family of 4, and then they still give them their diplomas. I think somewhere they should be planning something. If they are not, I think they should also be planning something still, to where somewhere later on this year, pray to God, hopefully this thing will be over and it can be a clearness of it, even if school is back in and going on. I think they should do it somewhere later on this year, to where they should be able to, when everybody can come back together, still have a graduation for these children, so they can walk across the stage again. And
so a postpone thing, just doing a postponement.
Right. Well, not necessarily just like they're doing now. Do what they're doing now, but come to watch this. I put it to you like this. They're just like you getting married, and you can't really afford that big wedding right now. So you have a wedding with just a few people, you know, and the pastor, the preacher, teacher, the justice of peace, or whoever. And then later on, maybe a year or two, I'm just saying, it might not be even that long, you know, you have another little ceremony, to where, because maybe the husband wasn't so, it was okay to him, you know, that the wedding be that small, but the wife, she wanted you know, women, they normally want the bigger wedding. So, and I'm saying the same thing with the children, is that do what they're doing now. It's a great thing. Do what they're doing now, so that they can kind of at least take some of it, hopefully give them a little hope, but also give them more hope to say, look, what we'll do you all is, we give you your diplomas now online, we're doing this, and we know all your family can't be there. But once this thing is over, this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic that upset the whole world is over, what we'll do is we'll come back together and still allow y'all to have a real graduation and come together. We'll sit somewhere up. See what I'm saying now? That way.
Yeah.
And because I think that would
Makes
be fair
sense
to them, because other than that, they're already being cheated. And I understand why they ain't, to me, I understand it, but to them, they're being cheated. They like to graduate. So, and what they're doing, just like, for example, down in my wife's hometown, our little cousin, she graduated. And so they done this same thing that's on out there, what they do. So they let them go in. They let 4 family members. I think they're doing it online, but they let Zoom, whatever. But I think they let 4. I ain't a baby. They let 4 family members. I think 3 family members, including the graduate. 3 family members go in, and what they do is they go in. Did they go into the school, baby? No. But did they go into the school, into the gym? Okay. Yeah, they go into the gym, and I ain't got to. My wife ain't helping me a lot right now, because she's talking to me from another
she's
room.
Hiding is what she's doing.
But
I know how my sister does.
Yeah, and I don't have the total direct understanding of how they really done it, but I'm kind of giving you what I kind of somewhat saw a little bit of, you know, as I saw the pictures and some of the posts and stuff. But I think they let the 3 of them go in, just that family by themselves, and that child get her diploma. She got her diploma. They had no, they let her done the little thing and got her diploma. I'm pretty sure they had on their I don't know if they allowed them to have, and I think they probably did. They had the cap and gown on, and they go in, just the three of them, and they pretty much present her diploma to her as she's walking across the stage, but there's no one in there but them. And each family went in individually like that at a time, 3 at a time to get their diploma. But I don't know if every area is quite doing it that way. I don't know for sure. I know down there they're doing it, but I don't know if every area quite doing it that way. I'm hoping that they are. But in the same token, like I say, I just want to make it known so that we can have an understanding of the children and what they're dealing with right now. Also, the disappointment, the despair, and all that stuff. They're not understanding. Because see, they know, but they ain't quite understanding why they know why this stuff happening, why when they get ready to graduate. So this they put, why had to have when we get ready to graduate? You know,
Yeah.
well, nobody had control of it. So what I'm saying is that we as adults with understanding and the maturity and the being that it's up to us to encourage them and try to help them to understand, you know, more, continue to remind them, help them understand more why they can't, you know, because they know, but they don't understand it. They know, but they just say, I understand it right now. And if you get where I'm coming from, the whole concept of that, it ain't that they don't know, they just don't understand why I got to happen right now when we get ready, I come up now. And what they understand is that nobody had any control of that. To the degree to where to stop it all together from the start of wherever it originated from. Nobody had any control of that part of it, you know. And the thing about it is that even the spreading part of it, you know, somewhere, you know, as you see, it was going to spread because you have people that had been other places.
Let's see if there's something we can do to quarter support. I think support them on that, but I don't know that there's a beautiful solution. So
it's not. It's not. It's just an encouragement. Only thing we can do, bro,
is encourage them.
Right, encourage.
Yep, and let them know that this is just a phase. It's a phase that sucks, but it's a phase. It will go. You'll get through it.
Right.
You know, there'll be something that's going to come in on the back end. Either you're going to be able to come back and do your graduation again, or maybe there's something better they can do on the front end that some people can come up with. I thought it was really beautiful that people are actually doing drive-bys of, and all that stuff, which they can't normally do. I personally think if you open up the door and let them do some Zoom stuff,
right,
that would allow people that could be at the graduation that normally can't be. That would be at least something that would be positive.
Right.
In my graduation, only the people that could live close to me in Oklahoma could go. So maybe that would open up some doors. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our little topic because Justin can't make himself in. So we're going to change it a little bit. And I've been working here while Charles is talking about trying to make it where we could post a few things. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to make myself as a guest beside us, but I can't really do that. So this is just going to be a little bit just Charles. We're going to make me as a guest. All right. So today is Friday Facebook post flashback. So Friday flashback. So what that is we're going to go through some posts that we posted and we're going to dive into that and see what in the world were you thinking? What in the world was I thinking when I did that? So I'm going to put myself in the hot seat this time. And Charles, you're welcome to ask me whatever kind of questions you want about it. What in the world we thinking? I'm going to ask you some. And so we're just going to go in back start order. So what I just posted today, let me show you guys what I posted today. And we're going to let you see. This is what I posted today so far. So before you sleep, pray. When you wake up, pray. When life gets hard, pray. When you're happy, pray. If you're unsure, pray. God is always with us. Awesome post, I thought. So
yeah, and that's great, man. You know, when you wake up, flash that for me again. I mean, you know, if you can. before you go to sleep, pray. Just if you can, you know, I know, you know, when, why do you feel that it's important, or what would you say to people that why is it important to pray before you go to sleep? What makes it so important to pray before you go to sleep?
Well, okay, so my personal, if you're going to talk about me personally, this is like an encouragement to remember when to pray. But honestly, I believe it's even more than this. I pray all the time.
Okay.
I don't stop doing it. And so what is prayer is the real question that I see. So praying does not mean, in my eyes, oh, Fatherest in the highest heaven of the about thingy, and I just want to say how lowly I am and how I don't, that's not to me prayer. If you and I first met each other, when we first met each other, I talked to you a certain way, right? I shook your hand. Hey, Mr. Charles, how are you? You know, it's very, what I call surface level, very respectful. I agree. I gave you a lot of respect and honor. This is Charles Matthews. I'm very nice to meet you. I'm Brian, and I'm this, and I'm do this. What kind of stuff do you do? And we just that's kind of how we met. Very surface level stuff.
Right.
And when you do that, it's kind of like meeting the president.
Yeah.
If I met the president, sir, it's an honor to meet you. I won't talk about anything for real. You know, I'm not going to get down to the depths. I just meet the president. It's such an honor to meet you. I want to thank you for all that you do. You have such a hard job and blah, blah. And that kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, looking up to somebody that's almost on a pedestal is kind of how I'd see me looking at meeting people. But so some people, when they first start prayers, that's what they think prayers are. I don't think God wants us to stay there. I think God wants us to have the relationship where we can just talk to him for real, just like you and I are talking for real. Right. Pretty soon after you and I became friends, we got to say real things.
Right.
We get to say real things. So now, before I go to bed, to answer your question, before I go to bed, I don't pray because I have to, or it's the 5th time of the day, or just because I'm going to bed. I prayed, just talk to him. That's all I've done. I believe in talking. So I talk to God throughout the day. And at the end of the day, a lot of times it's important to remind yourself to say thank you.
Right.
Sometimes we don't say thank you.
Yeah. And as you know, though, you know, and I heard you say that, that you don't think that that's what God wants us to stay. You know, he wants us. And the thing about that is that, watch this. But you know also that somebody else may look at it and think differently from what you just said, because they look at it from a different way. The way they pray is a different way, you know, and they look at it and understand it. So the thing about it is that, is you saying then that somebody else, if they pray the different way, their way is wrong?
Good question. Very good question. I don't think that anytime you pray to God is necessarily wrong. I just think it can be improved. You and I have a relationship. I think there's plenty of, we are very close, you and I. We talk all the time.
Right.
There's ways we can still improve our relationship greatly, you and I. It doesn't mean, now, when I first met you, the first year that I met you, the first year I knew you, I didn't have these kind of conversations. Not real. Does that mean I was wrong? No, I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't grown in my relationship where I can now be honest and more mature in our relationship and talk for real. But I do think this, though, to stay in a place where you don't grow is wrong. If you can't get closer to God every day, at least every year, but I mean, I'm saying I prefer a daily walk. If you can't get closer to God where you can be a little bit more real, then you're looking at this a lot more like religion than relationship. And I think that's a big problem. I think religion, when it outweighs your relationship, is a problem. Jesus, I can show you in the Bible where Jesus had a problem with that. I can show you in the problem in my life where we had a problem with that. So,
and I hear you, but what about this part here though? What about, there are some people that are a lot And we both know that because, you know, we experienced it. Because watch the number say this, and I'll say this, and maybe it'll kind of help out a little bit more. There are a lot of people that are a lot slower to the growth of different things, even when it comes to the spiritual part of it, than others are. So how do that help them when with the fact of, watch this, first of all, just like in school, you know, even as children coming up, they have different levels of learning stages with children and their mind processing things. They have children that are advanced, excelled, advanced, gifted. They have children that are they call a special ed, special ed, and all these things. So now, with that being said, you got to understand, everybody won't learn it the same. But sometimes, watch it.
Sure.
It takes some people maybe 2 days to learn something, or 3 hours to learn something, and then it takes other people, watch this, a whole year to learn the same thing. So how do you
how do I justify that? Okay, so I think I get where you're going. So let me give you my view. So I believe it's important to take a step towards God every day. Right. Now, your step doesn't have to look like mine. Right. You might be taking these giant leaps towards God. And if I should be encouraged by that, I should look at you and go, man, because if he can do it, I can do it. Right. Because I believe everybody can do that. Right. But my steps might be little tiny baby steps. But as long as it's a step, as long as you're going towards God, the problem that most people have, in my opinion, that don't get closer to God, they're just going to stay where they're at. Right. All right. They are on the fence believers. What I call on the fence believers. So an on the fence believer is this. Jesus would say this. All right. I'd rather you be hot. This is something he told to the churches, but it also relates to people. I'd rather you be hot or cold. This lukewarm thing, I'll spit you out of my mouth. I don't want you to be lukewarm. I'd rather you be hot or cold. He also said in the Bible that there's some people that are going to be believing, but only enough to get their salvation, and that's it. That's as far as they're going to go. And he said, so, and the Bible says about this, he said, well, you might be saved, but you're only going to be saved as one as if he's running out of the fire. You're only going to be escaping because you're going to put the least amount of effort and the least amount of energy behind it. Okay. And that's what he says. Yeah. And I heard you say that, you know, the hot or cold, and that's great. And I agree with you because the scripture does say that. But watch this. Let me get to you also from this point of view, and then you help me out here, because we got to also know that, watch this, even, and I use this terminology, even in our homes, we may have different types of stoves. You know where I'm going? Stoves, and some people may have gas stoves in their home. Okay. Or gas water heaters in their home. Some people got electric stoves and electric water heaters in their home. Also, depending on the pot that they're using on the stove to boil water, some pot takes a little longer to get hot. Yeah. Than absolutely. Others. So with that being said, how do you, and I say that because I heard you say, and you're right, the Bible said, he said, well, you have to either have to be hot or cold. If you lukewarm, I spill you out. But what about the fact of that, it takes some people a little longer, some stoves a little longer to warm up the water, and get it hot than other ones. So the same thing with people, it takes some people a little longer, to get hot than others, because and I know the Bible do say, he says also, when we know better, we do better. And, and I agree with you. And I also agree with you, don't get me wrong now, toward when you say it, I think that we all should take a step toward God every day, because scripture do says, if you draw unto me, I will draw unto you. Yep. But what happened? What about the people that don't know how to draw unto them? Don't know how to take them steps? How do you help them? What would you tell them? Okay. Perfect question. Good question. All right. So I was helping do some youth ministry back in the day. And the cool thing about youth is they're honest as a heart attack. They'll tell you how they feel. They tell you how they're, they make you they draw out of you what's real, what you really think, because that's all they care about. And so one of the kids came up to me one time and asked, he says, I just don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be with God. I don't really feel that close. And I told him this, good. I'm glad you feel that way.
Right.
Because when you feel that way, to me, this is what God does. He puts an ache in your heart.
Okay.
And you have to respond to that ache. It's kind of like when you're hungry, right? Your stomach starts to hurt. Now, God doesn't force you to love him. It's all opportunity. He's given you the choice. Everything that you got in life is a choice. And that's why Jesus says, look, I hold the keys to death and life. Choose life. Please choose it. But the choice is yours. Okay. You got the choice. So when he put that ache in that kid's heart, what he was doing was he was trying to draw that kid closer. And the kid didn't know maybe how to get closer. And so he's staying back here and he just noticed his heart. Something's not right. Right? That's what he knew. Something was bothering him. And he's trying to vocalize it and explain it. Like, I don't think I'm where I'm supposed to be with God. And I'm like, good, because that's God pulling on your heartstring a little. He won't rip you off your feet. He's just going to pull on a little. And he's going to let you make a step. But so I look at it like this. My relationship with Jesus is only because of him that he came to me. I didn't come to him. He came to me. He comes to each of us. And he'll give you an opportunity. Now, you have the right to ignore that opportunity and to turn away, or you got the right to follow it. It's up to you. When he gives you a little pull on your heart, like, maybe I should do better, that's a pull. It's up to you how you respond to that. Most people will say, it doesn't feel good, and they're going to try to look for a solution of some kind. They're going to step to left, right, back, or front. You're only, and I used to be a horse trainer. So that's the thing. A horse, when he's uncomfortable, only has 4 choices, really. Step forward, back, left, right, or stand still, right? And you put discomfort on a horse to where when you want him to walk, for example, you put discomfort on him, and now he's got to make a choice. I can go forward, back, left, or right. And then your heart, Jesus, I think, does the same thing, puts a discomfort or something on your heart, and he's going to expect you to make a right decision. Okay. And you probably won't at the beginning.
Right. I'll actually listen here, this question, then it's one more in that post I want you to go back to it in a minute. And then I got another right now I want to ask you, then we're going to look at that. And then we'll go to another one you post. Okay. What about the rebellious ones?
Okay. Perfect. Good example. Good. So let's go back to the horse thing. Because I see a lot of correlation between the way a horse responds and a person responds, right? Take a horse, and the very first thing you do in the horse is especially a baby, you put a halter on it and you pull on it. A horse's response is always to pull back. He will always go backward. He will never give in to pressure. He always pulls back from pressure. Always rebels, always, always, always. Until the horse realizes in his mind that if I rebel, it's going to be worse for me than if I go to the problem or go too into pressure. Okay. You and I are the same way. When we first got our heartstrings pulled by God, we didn't step into them. Right. You told me your story that God told you, I want you to be a pastor. And the next thing you said, no. I'm not going to do it. So you were a stubborn horse. God gave you a little pull and you said, and you went the other way. Right. So tell me eventually, why did you step forward? Why did you give into this? Because did he work with you or what?
Yeah. Well, for one thing, I really, truthfully, I already knew. That's why I was so much more rebellious, because even if I'm a child, I knew the specialness about me versus other children.
So everything you did then was out of rebellion. Since you knew better, everything you did was out of rebellion.
Yeah, I was being rebellious for real because I was running.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I couldn't do, because this is the thing about it, I knew, and because I knew some things about the Bible, and I knew some things about God and his expectations, of us as his children, and when it comes to his righteousness. And I knew that there were some things that I couldn't do if I accepted what he wanted me to do. And I didn't want to let them go.
So tell me how he won you over.
Because he began to ask great questions. Good one. I'm glad you asked that. Because and listen to me real good, as Pastor Dan would say it through my heart. First of all, he began to allow, not because he was mean to me, not because he don't do nothing bad, but because I kept on being rebellious and I wanted to do things on the worldly side, I'll say the carnal side, for the devilish things, as we would call them, So
he allowed you to do those.
Right. What happened is that he just allowed me to do what I wanted to do. And what happened was that I didn't realize, because of my disobedience, I'm falling into the trap of my adversary, which was the devil. Yep. And what happened was that he began to allow the devil to allow some things to happen to me. Watch this. He kept me now. He kept me from dying. He kept me, because I should have been dead and could have been dead and would have been dead if it had not been for God. But what happened is that he allowed the devil to begin to do some things to me, toward me, allow me to get into some things, to where I came to the realization that I've decided to make Jesus my choice. I would accept what the work that he had for me, because the work the devil had for me have cost me more than it gained me. It almost cost me my life. It almost cost me my mind. It even cost me everything that I had. My marriage, because I was so messed up. It caused some things to fall apart for me.
Yeah.
A lot of things. Well, I wasn't married then, but I was, my engagement, all that stuff. It caused all this stuff to fall apart and fall to pieces. And I said that to say this. Watch this. The same thing, just like right now. A lot of this, and this just me, I believe a lot of this going on is because of our disobedience to the fact of hearing God and what he really wants us to do. As you said, we should take a step forward toward him, and especially for everybody, but especially for us to really say we know him and we love him. Watch it. This thing happening with this COVID-19, man, it ain't no no new thing, or no big old surprise to me, and to people that say they really know him and understand his word. It shouldn't be now to them. But what happened is that because of our rebellious, we're still being rebellious, whether we realize or not. Our disobedience is just rebellious.
So let me break it down a little bit for the audience on that. So what I see listening to Charles's story was this. So remember, we're going back to horses, right? I got a lot of connections in that horse training thing. God taught me so much. So again, you put a halter on a horse, pull a horse. Very first thing a baby horse is going to do is run backwards. They always do. And they rebel. You aren't going to tell me what to do. And they rebel, do their own thing.
Yeah.
And what a good horse trainer will do is this. He won't rip that horse off its feet. He won't beat it. Right. He won't force that horse to do that. He's just going to help the horse to make the right choice. And the horse at the beginning doesn't do anything right. Just like an early Christian, you're always going to make mistakes. I mean, even an older horse makes mistakes, but older Christians make mistakes. So, but at the beginning, this is what happens. He backs up. So a good horse trainer will do this. He will walk with the horse and never stop pulling on that horse's halter, gently, not ripping it off, but he's going to keep pressure on that halter. He's going to let that horse go backwards, and the horse trainer goes with them.
Right.
Keeps that pressure on, because then the horse realizes this pressure didn't end this way. Right. So when you got and backed off of God and you said, I'm going to do my thing, he never stopped pulling on your heartstring, brother. Right. I know he was still always there. And every rebellious thing you did, he never turned his back on you.
Yes.
He never left you.
Right.
He also didn't stop you from making stupid decisions. He let you walk back but he kept on with you. He kept pulling you. And eventually you walked back so far that you finally got a click in your head. You know, I probably should take a forward step on this. I shouldn't be rebelling anymore. It's not helping.
Right.
And that's what a good horse trainer does. We keep that pressure on, and the horse backs up. He's rebellious until he finally gets it clicked in his head. This isn't better than what I started with. Let me take a step towards this. And the second he does, we let go of the pressure.
Right.
And the horse goes, dang, that feels better. I feel better.
Yeah.
And that's the first glimpse that a horse gets of knowing that the trainer is like God is to us. God pulls at my heart, and sometimes I still rebel on something he's asking. Sometimes I back up, but if I'm smart, I start to learn that, you know, all I got to do is give in to God, and I'm better. I feel better. He puts me in a better place. I wish I was very responsive, and every time he pulls on my heart, I just do it. I'm not quite there yet. Doing better each day.
Yeah, that's good. And thank you, bro, for that. Let's get back to some.
Let's get back to some posts, right?
Yeah, go to that same post. I got one other one I want to ask you out of that real quick.
On that same post before?
Yeah, that same post. And then we'll go to another post.
I closed it. Let me get back to it here.
Okay. And then we just a quick question on one of the other ones, and then we'll leave that and then go to another post.
Okay. Just so you know, it's 8:06.
Okay, that's fine. You know, we kind of started late anyway. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we sleep.
Again, the same question. Why is it important to pray when you're happy? Seems like if you're happy, because I'm asking that question, because seems like if you're happy, you know, everything good. So, you know, ain't no sense of worrying. You ain't got no worries, you know, if you're happy. You know, so, and most folks, you know, if they happy and things going well for them, what they need to pray for. That's what they're thinking. So why is it important to pray when you're happy?
All right, let me give you this one. All right. We read the Bible, Charles and I do, and a lot of people. We read the Bible because you got two different ways to learn in life. You can learn from the school of hard knocks all by yourself, come up with your own stupid mistakes, learn your own way, or you can learn from what happened to somebody else, right? A lot smarter to learn what happened to somebody else and be smarter about it. So in other words, I never had to put my hand into a fire to realize my hand will burn off, because I know somebody already tried that trick and it really hurt them. And so then they told me, don't do that. So it makes sense, right? So here's my answer to that. In the Bible, there's things like the Israelites, right? In the Bible, there's things like, well, let's just talk about the Israelites for a minute, because it's a common theme. What happens is when we're happy,
keep talking.
Okay. When we're happy, we sometimes forget about God. When everything in our life is going well, we kind of forget about God, and we get comfortable, we get complacent, and then we end up getting ourselves into trouble because we do something stupid. And then we start dipping down, and we start getting to a point where we need his help again. Then we cry out to him again. And then God does what he does, because he's very faithful, and he's going to come and he's going to save us, and he's going to build us back up, and we're going to be happy again. And then we start the cycle again. We get happy, then we fall into stupid things, because if we don't remember on the good times, when things are good, when you're happy, if you don't remember that God is the one that is helped you to get there, he's the giver of happiness and joy and all those things. And if we don't remember that, what happens is we end up becoming complacent. Then we end up blaming him when every little thing in our life isn't working well. And then we end up falling into temptation or some kind of trap. And then we end up going bad again and getting ourselves into a hole, and we start the cycle. So sometimes it's discipline that to remember when everything's going great in your life, you need to give God some thanks. It's not just nice to do because he deserves it, and he does deserve it. It's also a great mental reminder to keep you from falling back into that trap again. Because that's a cycle we all go through, but throughout the Bible, they've all gone through it, you know,
Right.
and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
When you're up and high, you want to stay up and high, give credit to where credit is due.
That's right. That's right. And that's good. That's really good, bro. And I think I can add to that real quick, and then we're going to the another post. And I would say, just like with me, it's important for me to pray when I'm happy, and it pretty much said what you said, because like I said, like you said, I'm really telling God, Lord, I thank you for what you already done, and I'm happy because I know that this ain't the end of it, and you're gonna continue to do more. You're gonna continue to wake me up. You're gonna continue to keep me in my right mind. You continue to get me closer, keep me closer to you. And to me, that's why it's important, because it's only strongly, simply saying to God, I appreciate what you already done. I know things are going well, and since they are where I need them to be, I know I'm gonna need you again, because I can't get along without you. So because of that, I want to continue to pray because I'm happy. Also with me, I pray when I'm happy because I think of where he brought me from, for one thing, what I went through, what I've been through. And I also pray when I'm happy because I'm praying that God keep my children's and give them a mind and a heart and a spirit to want to know more about them and my family and loved ones and get closer to them. So I'm happy about all that. So that's why I pray when I'm happy, because I keep thanking God because he keep doing that. He have never failed me. He ain't let me went hungry, and forever. I mean, I ain't gonna say I ain't never been hungry, but guess what? When I really surrendered to God, finally surrendered to him for real, and he promised me some things. He said he would supply my every need, and he have done that and above and then some. But let's go to the another post. Another one, post to see what we got there.
All right, this is another one I just posted today, a couple hours ago, in fact. All right, this was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. Oops, hold on, let me stop this real quick. Brian Callies, let me do this right. Okay, I'm sorry I did this wrong. There we go. There you go, that's better. All right, one of the saddest things I've ever seen. So this kid apparently went into a nursing home, and literally, and I'm not going to show any of the videos. You guys can do that if you want to, because I watched a couple of the videos and they were horrific. And he literally beat the snot out of some older guys to steal his money. But what I want us to see on that, the reason that I posted that, is not, look how bad this kid is. Can you believe what he did? I don't think that's really the point. The point is, if you look in this video, he had to record himself doing this. In order to do that, he had to record himself. That means he either had another person in there, or he brought in like something like a tripod to put his phone on, or something. And then he ended up doing some really stupid things, and he made sure that the camera caught it. And then he goes back afterwards and he's showing his victory, his win, or whatever you want to call it, by look at me. And he's showing, he's flashing his money, and he's got the little phone thing, and now he's in a thing taking a selfie. So that makes me believe he probably was there by himself. Can't imagine he talked somebody else into doing something this idiotic and horrible. And so this is what my reason I posted that. Even President Trump commented on this. Yeah. And that kid has apparently been made arrested now. But the point is, all of this was about show. It wasn't about, I don't even think it was probably about the money. It was all about, look at me. Look, I've got a Facebook video out there. Look how many people have watched me do this thing. And it's all about getting your self-worth, because you care about what everybody else is thinking about you, even if it's something bad. You're willing to do that. Yeah. And it was all for show, all to say, hey, look at me. And, and if he had a mental issue, then he wouldn't have been filming himself and making sure his blows were caught on camera. I mean, that takes at least enough mental capacity to say, no, I'm just doing this because I want to post this.
Mm-hmm. And also, looking at that picture, and I was trying to distinguish. Was he even, like you said, when you just said, that he had, the mental capacity thing? He really had to be a really truthfully bold young man. First of all, to go in the nursing home, then he get in there, kind of says some things too about this, I guess the security or the whatever, at the nursing home, for one thing, that he can get in there and go in and do something like this. But also, it looked like even with him taking that picture, like you say, he had to have something to prop that phone up on something so that he could record himself. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, I done saw things similar to this. And what happens is that these are children that they do these dare things, especially being in Detroit, knowing Detroit. I've lived in Detroit for about 7 years, I played music up there, so I played with a lot of people up there, but Detroit is a city to where you got to look at, with that going on, you never know what sparked that. That could have been an initiation thing, anything. Because of the fact of that, looking at that, and then he got the money, spreading it out, showing it. And the thing about it is that even when you look at that picture, don't look like, to me, it may be, but it looked like he was in a different place. I could be wrong, different place when he took that mirror and showed.
Might have been.
May have been at home at that point. But the fact of the matter is that, how is it that he can even get in a nursing home? That's a lot of times, most nursing home I know of, to get in, you got to buzz in. Normally, you got to sign in and go through other few things.
Yeah, I don't know security wise how in the world he got in there. The way I look at that is that he, and maybe it is an initiation. I mean, who knows? But but what we see today is a problem with children who, of course, now we've always had a problem with this, but now with social media and all that stuff, it is all about your image and how you're portrayed and how people look at you. But it isn't, without the morality part, without the God part, without the mom and dad trying to make you accountable part, without, we don't even have chivalry anymore. It's like all the reasons to do something good keep getting pulled back a little bit. So take God out of schools and, you start looking at some of the results. To me, you take God out of the equation, you get what's left. And what's left is something you don't want.
Nah. But look at what, and I guess what really gets me about it, we're going to go to your next post. I ain't getting it. It says Uncle Sam's.
Yeah, I ain't quite figured that one out yet at all.
What do you got to do with? Anyway, let's get to another one you post. That's enough of that one. That can be a little. That is a little disturbing, All
right, we're gonna do something a little bit lighter on my posting that I did, and let's see if Charles can get this, because I thought this was kind of clever. I like little stupid things like this. All right, let's see if you can. I'm gonna share this one. Y'all see this one? You see that, Charles?
Yeah.
All right. What is it? I like these stupid little things. So we're just going to do a light one real quick. Can you get what it is? Because you and I are both musicians. So I'll give you a hint. This is a musical song. All right.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Can you get it?
Will Smith. No, let's see. Man, it's a musical song.
Yeah, it's a song. And if I start it off, I'll give you another clue when you're ready.
Let's see.
I had to put you on the spot, Charles, to see if you can get this one.
Man, you
all right. You ready? Ready for another hint? All right, here's a hint. Did it help you any? So you can see my mouse, right? So that's a we.
Oh, I got it.
All right. Let's hear it.
We will rock you.
Good job.
We will rock you. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was great. I don't know what goofball. I don't know who takes the time to do all this kind of stuff.
Hey, that's a we game and then Will Smith and then a we game and a Will Smith and then The Rock.
Exactly. All right, so I'm gonna put up another one. Let me put up this other one here.
And there's some, believe it or not, I was trying to figure out the hand things.
Yep. All right, so here's another one. So we're just going to go through my Facebook. It's my Friday Facebook flashbacks. So in 1 week, this is just in 1 week, I went from 275 to 261 point and a little bit. So I lost 13.5 pounds in a week and 3.5 inches on my waist. So let me just say that for those who are going through this. I learned this from Ricky Floyd. We had Ricky Floyd on last night. Ricky Floyd showed a picture of his belly. Big old, I have to be honest. Yeah. So he had a big belly, kind of like I've got a belly, you know, my wife is a great cook and I like to eat her food. And so, and I don't want to disappoint her. So I go ahead and eat a lot of it. But, I gotten overweight. Each year I get a little more overweight. This year, my doctor, at the end of last year, my doctor told me, he goes, well, you're on a wrong trend. You're going up in weight. And so your blood pressure is going up and your cholesterol is going up and your sugar is going up. And all of that is because you keep gaining weight. You need to do something to change and work your way back down. And I tried many, many things. Nothing really worked well to bring it back down. I cut out breads and pastas and cereals and sugar drinks and all the stuff they say, but it really didn't do anything. So finally I decided, I'm going to try another thing, another idea. And so I ended up getting on our show. We had 3 health coaches on our show, came on the show, showed us how to do a few things. And it wasn't magic. It was really about changing how often I eat and how many times I eat and what I eat. That's what it was about. And so now I'm on an awesome trend going back down, and you can do that too. If you're interested, make sure you put a comment in and we'll get you connected to that health coach, because it made all the difference in the world. I eat 6 meals a day plus snacks.
And Brian, and
we eat every 2 hours.
Right. And Brian would say, and a lot of people don't really want to know, and within a week, without you really, because most folks get to do that, they have to go to the gyms.
Yeah.
They have to get on certain diet solutions and pills and drinks and all that stuff for that to happen. And of course, like I said, go to the gym, exercise. So, and so people really want to know. Can you tell people really what have you actually done?
Yeah.
Just had to do to have that happen to the point to where you went from from
275
down to 261. So that means you done lost over 15 pounds.
Yeah, happy to. So good question. So okay, look, the doctors are right. It's just they don't tell you how to do it. So when they say, well, eat better, well, I don't know what that means to you, Charles. It don't mean a whole heck of a lot to me. It didn't fix anything. So until I find out that these health coaches are onto something, they know some tricks. And so one of the tricks is this. If you eat like I did, breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe I skipped lunch. So now I'm eating breakfast and dinner. So when your body goes to a point past 3 hours and you haven't eaten, anything you eat after that 3 hours is now going to go to fat, basically. So when you eat it, it's just going to go to waste because your body's going to assume, because you haven't eaten anything in 3 hours. It's going to, I better hold on to this. So it's going to take all the food that you go on from then on. It's just going to go to fat. It's not going to help you. But your sugar has to be regulated. So your insulin level kicks left and right over all the time. So it's like, well, shoot, he gave us a lot of food in the morning. So I got to ramp up the insulin to lower the sugar and to try to store, and it tries to do that. And then you didn't eat anything for another 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And then your body's had to crank the other direction and say, well, man, I got to keep his blood sugar up, but I don't know if he's going to eat again, because your body's just intelligent in some ways, but it can be tricked in others. So it thinks, well, I'm in fasting mode because I don't know if you'll ever eat again. And then you eat dinner, and it goes, oh, crap, we have so much intake, and it goes go the other way. And so you end up destroying your metabolism. You end up destroying your sugar level, just goes all through the roof. And that's what happened to me. So doctors now bringing up the diabetes word. I don't like that word. That word pisses me off and scares me. Yeah. And I said, is that fixable? She goes, yeah, it's fixable, but you have to fix it. And if you don't, you keep up with this game where you're at right now, it will not be fixable. So unless you want diabetes, you got to lose weight. You got to regulate your sugar. You have to do some things. And so I got with these guys, and the very first thing they did is said, okay, you're going to eat 6 meals a day, but they're going to be, we want your meals because you got to lose weight. Now, not everybody gets the same plan. So that's why they had to come up with a plan. Not everybody gets the same one. It depends on what you need. So, but I need to lose weight. So the plan, they said, all right, we're going to do the most aggressive way to help you lose weight, but still stay healthy. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to cook, portion size, what you're going to eat. And you only get one meal out of the day that you get to prepare yourself, because you're learning. You got to figure this out. I'm going to teach you how to start weighing stuff out so you know how much a portion is, and then what kind of other things to do. And it's a lot of it was about changing a few things on the cooking side. Don't cook with butter, use olive oil. Olive oil is a healthy fat. You got to counterbalance the bad fat you bring in with good fat. Okay. The other thing we got to have you do is we want you to eat every 2 hours. We want to keep your blood sugar level up. We don't want it dipping. So every time you get hungry, every time you feel weak, we want you to eat. We want you to get it right back up again. We don't want to take all that pressure off of your body trying to regulate sugar, because it's going to make you diabetic. And so we're going to make it easy for you. We're going to have, we've got, in their plan, we've got prepackaged stuff, 80 different things. You can pick what you want. They can be shakes or power bars, or they've got different kind of mashed potatoes. They got waffles. They've got candies, things that look like candy bars. They've got just mac and cheese, all this stuff. But the purpose is, because I'm trying to aggressively lose weight but be healthy, then I have to take a lot of vitamins, a lot of mineral stuff, and a lot of probiotics to keep the health side up. So their suggestion is, well, look, the easiest way for you to relearn right now and to get to your goal, buy these little things from us. It's just like, kind of like the Jenny Craig thing or whatever. You buy your meal, but you're buying these things from them that only have 100 calories. And that's what they consider one meal. They have all the energy you need, all the probiotics, but they're only 100 calories. Okay. So if you eat 5 of those a day of those things, you've only brought in 500 calories.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's what some people be wondering too. So you're saying that the meals that you're getting, that you're eating, you're getting them from them.
Right now, yes.
Right now, you're getting it from them. Okay, and
now if you're smart enough to be able to do it all by yourself, then great. But most people like me, I'm not ready to, and I have to lose so much weight so quickly that I don't want to do a learning curve for 6 months on recooking and all this stuff to be able to finally start to slowly lose weight. I need to more quickly lose weight than get to where I'm normal. Then they change the plan completely. And then they say, no, now you got to have 2 or 3 meals you're preparing yourself, because you've learned how to prepare your own food healthy, and you weaning yourself off of them as a crutch. You're starting to wean yourself off of having to buy packaged stuff. Now, packaged stuff is quick and easy. I will be honest. Like, for example, this is one. I got a little protein bar, like this little bar, 100 calories. I bring it on the show because when I'm here, if I'm going to eat every 2 hours, trust me, you don't want to have big meals every 2 hours. You get full. And so I can pop that and eat that just before the show, and I'll eat it right after we're done.
Okay, and is that something that you get from them, or is that something that you get for yourself?
I'm getting this from them because theirs, I know, has no preservatives or artificials and stuff. It's packed full of vitamins, and if I do it, it gives me everything that I need to go another 2 hours.
Okay, so is that
most of the stuff that you buy on in the store? Go try to figure that out yourself. I don't want to figure all that out. Half of them are meant to be, well, they're meant to be for bodybuilders. Well, I'm not a bodybuilder. You know,
that stuff is pretty much coming more so from which being that they are health and you know, nutritional coaches. Their stuff is more so coming from the health and nutritional stores or suppliers.
Yep. And so when they do that, I don't have to think about that.
Gotcha.
I'm only thinking right now about one meal a day. One meal that I have to think about making, and I have to make it healthy, and I have to be the right portions. And and it's really easy. It's just called lean and greens. It's just, you can have 7 ounces of fish. You like fishing. So 7 ounces of fish, that's a lot of fish. Then you say, well, how do you make your fish taste good? Let's put a bunch of cream sauce on it. Now, wait a minute now, because the cream sauce you're talking about probably has a whole lot of bad fat in it. Let's do this instead. Let's put tomatoes on top of it. Oh, well, see, tomatoes a vegetable versus cream fat. Well, tomatoes are good. So have the good one. Okay. And when you cook it, well, let's cook it in olive oil, since olive oil is a good fat. Okay. That's easy enough. It's just about changing little things.
Gotcha.
And then you got to have like some sides. You know, you can't just have fish. So I ended up with 3 different kinds of vegetables. So I got broccoli, I got cauliflower, and I got spinach that we can put dressing and stuff on, make a salad.
Okay.
I mean, I was so full I couldn't eat anymore. So
right, and that's great because, and you know how, and like you said, and the great part about it, especially that you're changing. You know, you have to change your diet some. I know I saw a few days ago you had my wife had showed me that you had a nice, pretty good meal on. I think you had that. What's that fish called? Is it grouper?
Grouper, that's my favorite.
And I saw that, and I saw a few other things, and it inspired my wife to the point to where she's like, "Wow, I'm gonna talk to a brother, you know, and see what I need to do," because, you know, and I think the most people's problem is something that they don't know. The information you just gave and said, they don't know that if you don't eat for 3 hours, then then it don't do you any good to a degree, because now you get thick at the end, your system is not really recognizing it as, So the fact of the matter is that a lot of people don't know that, and that they need to know that. Like you said, the doctor will tell you you need to eat better, but they don't tell you exactly how to eat better. And you can ask, well, what should I eat? Well, we'll just cut back on this and cut back on that. But what you're saying is that what you're doing with what you're getting, it's really coming directly more so from, because I'll say this, the doctor, he specializes more so in your medical, issues and things like this. And normally, most doctors are not normally nutritional coaches.
I agree with you totally, brother. And I'm glad you said that too, because I tried for a year. It was, I'll tell my wife. My wife went 2 years ago, completely gluten-free, completely. She went completely sugar-free.
Right.
I mean, sugar's off the table.
Right.
And you would think, wow, and she's got to have lost a ton of weight and feels so good. Nope.
Right.
She lost some, but she wasn't super healthy. She wasn't, didn't lose a ton of weight. She plateaued like everybody does.
Right.
I did the same trick. I cut out all breads. And any sugary drink stuff, all the little dessert stuff that I'd normally eat, all that stuff I sacrificed for a year. It did nothing. Absolutely nothing. And my doctor, actually, when I went back, he said, wow, your numbers are worse. And I got so pissed and discouraged because everybody told me the stuff you can't eat. They didn't tell me how to do it. A nutritionist, like you're saying, Charles, was so smart, because a nutritionist, and I didn't believe in this at first either. I'm believing, see how it works. Let's see what it does. That's why I'm being completely honest on the show. That's why I'm putting it on Facebook. I want you to see how it works. I don't know. It may have done nothing, but I'm just telling you this. It makes sense. Eat every 2 hours. Okay. I can get the logic behind that. Start changing the way you eat and the way you cook. My wife's a cook, so she's changed the way she cooks. And I'll be honest, her fish, the grouper, I told her this, that's the best fish I think I've ever had, ever. Wow. And it wasn't that it like you're sacrificing taste or size. It was huge. If you see it on Facebook, I'll show you on Facebook. It was great. It's just changing what we do. And then avocados are really, really good for us, they said. So I didn't know that. So they said, well, put avocados on this, this, and this, and eat an avocado a day. Now, I'm not going to just eat one like with a spoon, but I'll put it on stuff. And I put it on my waffle with a little bit of seasoning, like what they call it, steak seasoning is what I used, and put that on. Shoot. Now I'll eat that again. That was
you say you put it on your waffle.
On my waffle.
Some avocados.
Yep.
Steak seasoning.
Yep.
On your waffle.
I'm telling you.
Like it's a steak.
Yeah, I'm telling you that was good. And it was and it's so completely healthy. Oh, and the omelets, right? Omelet with cook it in a lot of olive oil, preferably flavored olive oil, because that gets flavor in there, like bacon or whatever they got. And then you can fill it full of cooked spinach and every kind of vegetable you can think of: onion, bell pepper, mushrooms, avocado. What's the other one? Just any kind of vegetable you can think of, right? Squash. My dad likes squash. Throw it in there and put half an avocado on the top.
And real quick, and then we need to do a I'm talking about a
shout out.
Right. And then but real quick, because we really past time, but we okay.
Yeah, we're past time. It's just us, brother. We're good, man.
But listen. But what about with this food that you get, although it's come packaged, and you cooking it? Watch this, because most people gonna want to know this. And even knowing that they got to change their diet, they're gonna want to know, what kind of seasonings, if any, are they allowed to put on this?
Yep. And so that becomes the training part of what a good health coach is going to do. He's going to help you to help yourself to know how to eat better and to cook better. And you're a cook, so he's going to help you with that. So in the meantime, I'm going to lose weight, because they've got a way that I can take in about 1,800 calories a day, whatever it is, 1,500 to 1,800, which, if you're going to do that, 2,000 calories is what they say is healthy, right? You can trick your body, like what we're doing now is doing this little trick. If you stay up on your probiotics and all your vitamins and all that stuff, then you can do this quick fat burn thing. You can't stay on it long. You got to you're only going to be able to be on it for a little bit until you get back down to your weight. And then you got to switch to eating more of your own cooked meals. And less on the 100-calorie snacks. But the 100-calorie snacks, no matter what they are, they got everything. The 100-calorie snacks are great when you don't have time or you're wanting to just supplement. I only want to cook 2 meals a day, and that's it. And so it's really helped. Alinda has learned a lot on how to do that. A lot of things I thought you can't do, you can do. And a lot of things I thought you couldn't do, you can do. So it's amazing. It's not what you think. It's not what people always tell me. In my opinion, everybody's always said everything is bad, pretty much. Can't have eggs. Eggs aren't good. Can't have milk. Can't have dairy. Can't have sugar. Can't have salt. Can't have, breads, cereals, canned goods, vegetables like peas and carrots aren't good. And they just go through the list of telling you everything that's not good. And when it's all said and done, what the heck are you going to eat? Nothing's good anymore. and
right.
it didn't fix my problem. What fixed
Yeah.
my problem is finding a health coach that can actually help me. I'll get you guys connected. If you guys are interested, the health coach doesn't even charge for his time and his energy. He just helps you to get connected, and he does refer people to get their bars when you're going through this weight loss thing. If that's your goal, it's not a diet. It's
Right.
about changing your life. It's about
Right.
changing how you cook and eat, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do that shout out, bro, and then we'll come back for a few moments, and we'll get another one, your post up, and then we'll kind of, graduate on off of here.
Okay, well, actually, we'll do the shout out by a post. How's that?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to do the shout out by the post. Let me do this. There we go. All right. Let me share this. All right. There's our post. Gotta love Facebook. Facebook makes things handy, but sometimes it makes it where it's not. There we go. Don't always love the way it refreshes everything. There it is. Okay, so let me share with you this one. All right, can you see that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So this is our shout out for our charity shout out is going to be for Saving Lost Kids. It's the same thing that we talked about in the past that Charles and I are huge supporters of. This is a mission that we have, is to try to reduce the number of missing, exploited, and sex trafficked children in America. Our goal is to try to put an end to all that, and we do it all by prevention. There's one of the ways that we do that is on our website. We Saving Lost Kids. We're always sharing a. You can see Saving Lost Kids here. We're always sharing the posts of the recent children that are missing in your area, your local area. And there's plenty of ways to find those. One of our partners is the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. You can easily find what children are missing in your area. But what we ask you to do is to share that. So this child right here that went missing, this is Christopher Crace. He went missing on April 13th, right from Blunttville, Tennessee. You guys can see all that. So the way this child will be found and discovered almost always is based on the picture. The picture is what matters. So what we need you to do is to share this picture, and then you know how to do a share. It's really simple. You just like it or love it or whatever you want to do. And then you come over here and hit the share and post it on your own timeline so that your friends and family can see the picture of this kid. And if somebody happens to spot that picture, and they might be the missing clue that we need to find them by saying, I saw that child was in this place. But that sharing that poster, that picture, that it's what really, so trust me, if you had a child that was missing, you'll want the world to know that that child is missing. You want every single person to be on the lookout, looking for this kid. And the picture is pretty much the key of when we find these kids, is based on the picture. So take time. It takes 2 seconds to share it. Go to Saving Lost Kids, hit share the post. Also, everything that we do at Saving Lost Kids, all of our events, we do a tremendous number of events, a lot of education, a lot of teachings, now a lot of online teachings. All of those things cost money. We need your support and your help to do that. So become a monthly donor, become a partner, become a part of the solution. We need you to be a part of the solution. And the solution for Saving Lost Kids is become a monthly donor for us. A monthly donor makes you part of the team, makes you one of us. And it's really easy. Text SLK for Saving Lost Kids, just the initials, SLK to 41444. So SLK at 41444, or you can go to the website savinglostkids.org and hit the donate button there. That's fine. We would love to have you as a partner, get your help on actually saving as many children's lives as we can. So thank you, Charles, for that and reminding us to do our charity shout out for the day.
Amen. Amen. That was great. You know, and people don't realize too how serious and rapidly this is happening to our children. I think they think that it's something that's not so much to worry about because it haven't happened to them or close to them to the point to where they can feel the effects of it. And I think that a lot of times that's why a lot of people don't share. They'll see it and they'll stroll past it. The things that they should see and share, they don't, and they'll stroll past them. But the things that they should see that they don't need to share and they see, they're always sharing them. I see videos of people so easily. You see a million of them pop up on your timeline where people are fighting and gang fighting and all this kind of stuff. The stupidity, I call it, the ignorancy. But yet something as serious as a child that's missing, and it can be so easily, as you said, done to help to possibly bring this child to safety and home, you know, just by sharing it. But people have gotten to the point to where that's not important to them. It's not important to them. That's not exciting to them.
Wait till they lose their own child or somebody they know, and then all of a sudden become exciting for them.
Right. And I tell people they should be really, you know, if somebody probably say, well, why would you want to be excited about a child coming up missing? Well, you don't want to be excited because the child is missing, but what you want to be excited about is the fact of, well, I got to share it and hopefully somebody see it. And I'm excited to know that I got other friends on my page that hopefully they'll share it. And I'm excited about maybe their friends will see it and they'll share it. You know, so I'm excited about, most of all, that'll tell me that people really care. That's what you'd be excited about, to know that.
I love that, brother. And like you also said, it's important nowadays to try to find ways to be a hero in someone's life. And so how could you be a better hero than trying to help a child to be found who's missing?
Right.
When all you have to do is share it. And then preferably, if you really want to help, donate so that we can help get that child home and we can work on those things. Right now we're in Memphis, Tennessee. I got 10 kids, roughly 8 to 10 kids missing out of Memphis right now.
Yeah.
We have a whole nother team that does search and rescue and sex trafficking rescue. And we really need your help to get, you know, all that stuff costs money.
Yes, it does. You
so
know,
please consider again donating.
Donate, yes, donate, sponsorship, donators. And like I said, people, y'all need to understand and realize it is so important because it helps to continue. And as Brian say, you know, him and I are a big part of supporters of this and all this kind of stuff. So, and we're asking you, you know, you can call it accident or begging if you want, and that's fine. But we're asking you and we're pleading with you, you know, to really become a donator, you know, and because we'll donate to other things that's not as important, no, for real. But again, he say, and as I say, but what happens when it becomes your child, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your brother or sister, you know, your grandchild, you know, what happens when it becomes them? Then how would you want other people to do toward helping you? Wouldn't you want other people to really be a huge impact on helping financially and supporting you to the point to where they really care, showing that they care, showing that they care. And again, I say, y'all don't know how hard it really is to carry this on, you know, and me and Brian being, you know, big supporters of it and everything, you know, y'all don't really know how hard it is to carry this on without the financial part of things, especially when a lot of times, you know, it don't come from, you know, a lot of the donations. That's why we're asking for more donations. It don't go to me. It's gonna go to Brian. It don't go to nobody else. Nobody gets paid for this. But what it goes toward is all the material that has to be put out, all this stuff that we put up, all the material has to be put out. You know, even this organization that they have different things that they do, and also that the Saving Lost Kids part of is a part of. They do safety IDs. They do educational literature. All this stuff had to be printed, and guess what? It costs money. And again, I say it don't matter whether it's your child or my child or whoever child. Guess what? You know, no USISB and Saving Lost Kids. They don't discriminate. They don't care. They just so caring. They want to be able to help everybody. But we can't do that, and they can't do that if you all don't become bigger and more gracious givers.
Yeah.
And so I'm pleased with y'all. You know.
Thank you, Charles, for saying that, because I totally agree with you, man. And we're always looking for that. And plus that you'll become a part of the team and part of the solution and part of the preventing it from happening. We don't want to wait till all those kids go missing and all the bad stuff happens. Let's prevent it and stop it from happening and work on it on the front end if we can.
Yes.
So be a part of that. We'd love to have you as a team member. Charles, we got time for one more.
Yeah, we got time for one more.
I just want to kick out one last one that I think is kind of important to share. I wanted to make sure I shared it with you.
Yes, we got time for one more.
There's a post I put out. I really love my wife.
Especially when she's for me. Hint.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the reason I wanted to say that.
Look, that sounds like some bribery to me.
It was.
Look, that sounds like some good old bribery to me. Yep. You know, as my daddy would say it, you know, brother, you landing on thick. And it's something that you said that, being that you said, you know, and you put that up. And the great part about it, I mean, this is just me. When people see that, and even with me saying, you know, that sounds like bribery, you know, getting back to the realness of it, you know. And again, I say it's Pastor Dan, I always say a great friend of ours, you know, actually, you know, Pastor Brian Callies, his pastor, you know, would say, you know, hear my heart on this one, you know. And I know when Brian say that, it's meant from his heart, not just because she cooked, but because of her love for him, you know, and the togetherness and closeness that they have, you know, I can imagine that's why he really loved her for real. And the thing about it is that, and I'll say this and then I'll let him really, you know, tell you from his point of view, how he really look at and feel about it. I don't even believe that when it came down to it. And I'm finna ask him this question so he can answer it for us, you know, so maybe some people that won and maybe done thought something differently can get the, get the right answer, hopefully, to this from, a man that really loves his wife and his wife love him. And I'm saying this because I know I've been in their presence. They're my family to me, you know. So, but Brian, I mean, could you really tell us, you know, why you love your wife?
Why I love her?
Could you tell us that? Do you have an answer for that?
I think love is two different things. I think love is how you feel, but it's also a choice.
Right.
So the Bible talks about you're supposed to love God with all your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say, wait till you fall in love with your neighbor and
right.
then love your neighbor.
Right.
So there's a part of yourself that you have to remind yourself. You have to tell yourself. You have to remember that you love.
Uh-huh.
And
I ain't because what I'm saying is that because when I read that question, I knew that you meant it from the in love point of view.
Yeah.
And so that's what. So what my question is that.
The cooks for me part.
Huh?
The cooks for me part. Is that what you're getting at?
No, not that part. I'm getting at. Can you explain why you love your wife. Can you explain that? Do you have an explanation for why you love your wife? Or do you?
I do, but there's like a million of them. There's a million reasons that I love Alinda. So
Okay,
one is I know that God gave her to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. I know that she is always trying to look out for me. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of what I did right here when she cooks for me. Haha. It was just a joke because I'm always wanting to make her smile because she always makes me feel good. So doesn't mean we have the perfect relationship and everything, and we don't get into quabbles, and we do all the time. We always have something that we don't see eye to eye on or disagree on or something. So it really, why do I love her? Man, there's a million reasons why I love her. There's just little reasons all over the place of why I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, she's not the perfect wife. She's the perfect wife for me.
Right.
She fills a lot of my voids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that I ain't good at, she is.
Right.
She also challenges me. My point of view isn't always right. It's not always perfect.
Right.
She will challenge me by giving me another point of view and something I don't get. But it helps me to be grounded and to understand that there's other points of view on things. And she helps me to understand things sometimes when I totally don't. Mm-hmm. She's there for us all the times for the events and everything that we do. Every crazy adventure. Let me tell you about another one. So God gave us these crazy adventures like saving lost kids and this show. And the funny thing is God never gave those visions to her, never gave her those missions. But like a good wife, she is trying to be a great wife. And she supports me doing things in saving lost kids or the foundation or any of the music. It's not her passion. It's not her vision, but she supports me just like it is.
Okay.
Because that's just being a great wife, being a good partner.
Yeah. And that's good. And now watch this. And now let me, if it's okay, let me give you my answer. You asked me that same question, and I'm gonna give you my answer on that. Because I like when you put that up there. I love that, and I'm glad you put it up there because, man, I hopefully I can share it. When I share this, people can even understand some things a little bit better, a little more. Now you asked me that same question that I asked you.
Why do you love my wife?
What?
I'm just messing with you, Charles. All right. So about lasagna, you mean? About your wife? All right. So I said originally I really love my wife. So why do you really love your wife?
Yeah, right. And when we say that, we're speaking of the in love with our wife. Watch it. Now, can I explain it? It was pretty much the question. Why I love. And watch this. And watch my answer. You know, we just keeping it real show. Watch my. No, I can't even explain it. I don't have any reasons why I love my wife that could even explain. It's no explanation for it. I mean, Anita Baker sang a song some years ago, and the song said that I love you just because.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And watch it. And when she sung that song, and I understood it some years down the line, I understood that. In other words, it was saying there's no limit to why I love you. I can't even explain it. And I'm going to tell you this quick story real quick that was told to me one time. And the question said, the story said, it says that there was 4 men, married men, and say they was asked the question. They was each asked the same question, and so they asked the first married man, say, I got a question for all of you all, but I'm actually want individually the same question. It says, when was the last time your wife done something to make you mad and angry? And said, say the first man said, what was the last thing your wife done to you that made you mad and angry and upset? And the first man says, it was four of them, the first man says, well, what my wife done, the last thing she done, the last thing I remember that she done that made me mad and angry and upset was I asked her to get my suit out the cleaners because I needed to wear it, you know, for something. And she didn't get it. And that made me mad and upset. And then so they went to the second man and they asked him, say, same question for you. What was the last thing you remember your wife done that made you mad and upset at her? And he said, well, my wife, the last thing I remember she done made me mad and upset at her is she knew I love grits and she didn't cook my grits right. They said, oh, wow, okay. They said, that's the third man. They said, now, same question to you, sir. Say, what was the last thing that you remember that caused you to be mad and upset at your wife, you know, that she didn't do right? And he says, well, you know, she, no, I don't like my pillows fluffed up on the bed. And she fluffed up my pillows on the bed. And that really got to me. And that's the last thing I remember that she done to make me mad and upset at her. And they's like, wow. And they got to the last man, and he was sitting there, and he said, the gentleman, he said, sir, why you? He said, you looking off to yourself there in outer space. He said, apparently you don't agree with these other three gentlemen. He said, but I don't know, maybe you do. He said, because maybe you got a reason why you remember why your wife, just as they do, the last thing she did to make you mad and upset. Say, now, since you're looking so peculiar and kind of, you know, puzzled, what was the last thing you remember then that your wife done that made you mad, angry, and upset? And he dropped his head and he said, well, and then he looked back up at him, he said, that's just the thing. I don't remember the last thing she done that made me mad and upset because I don't keep a record of it. And that's why I love her so much. He said, but I don't remember it. And I said that to say this. When I said a minute ago, what I said was, I can't even think of a reason why that I love my wife so much, because there's no explanation to it. If I can explain to you why I love my wife so much, something wrong with it. Love is unexplainable. It's crazy. Think about it. When we fall in love for real, man, we matter of fact, we do stuff that normally in us and we wouldn't do. We change some things normally that we wouldn't have changed or wasn't expecting to change or didn't want to change.
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier was there's two different kinds of love. There's a love that you feel and a love that you have control over. So some people say, well, it's not my fault. I fell in love with this person. Okay. And there's a love that you feel, but there's also a love that you act.
Right.
The Bible says, like I said, to love your neighbor. I'm not in love with my neighbor. I didn't wait till I felt like I was in love with my neighbor.
Right.
I have to love my neighbor because the Bible says I have to. Right. But let's talk about you and me, Charles. So this is my best friend, right? So, I have to love you,
right?
Because I'm told to.
Right.
But I also have a part of me that loves you,
right?
Because I feel that.
Right. Unexplainable, that unexplainable part.
Exactly. And I think right now in the whole COVID thing, everybody's sitting at home and everybody's having to put up with their wives or their husbands. I've heard it several times, like, look, I never had to put up with my wife or my husband this long, and they're just getting on my nerves and whatever. I will say this, you have to remind yourself sometimes. That's why I put up posts like that. I have to tell myself, but I also have to tell my wife and remind her that I'm in love with her.
Right.
That I love her.
Yeah.
That, because my actions don't always show it. So I'm not the easiest man to live with. I'm not the hardest man either. So, but I have to remind my wife every once in a while that I love her so much.
I wonder if your wife makes a difference.
What's that?
Nothing.
You're gonna get
I
yourself
wonder
in
if your
trouble.
wife would beg the difference.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble now, brother. See, I'm
Uh,
saying you're gonna get yourself in
the
trouble now.
hardest man to live with. I said, I wonder what your wife beg the difference.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. She would. But man, brother, it's been a great, great show.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Today, and even though it's been just the two of us, I've really enjoyed this. We
Yes.
went on a little longer than normal,
Oh,
which I
yes.
think was totally okay with me.
Yes, yes. And I hope that we said some things that, because we said them from our heart. And as again, I says our friend and Brian's pastor, and our brother, Pastor Dan was said, hear my heart, hear my heart, and hear our heart, everything we said it from our heart. We said it sincerely, from our heart and meant it, And I hope what we said, something, will help, somebody, anybody, in some kind of way, because it's needed. Because like especially when the last post he just made, that's really important, especially right now with married couples, like he just said, they're being at home. You're being at home with one another, and most of you haven't done that. You haven't spent that time like that. You haven't, been in the same house that long with one another. So I can imagine for some of you all, there's probably a lot of chaos, a lot of disagreeing, a lot of bickering. And I ain't saying it is, but maybe but I'm pretty sure if you're not used to being around one another, that this is probably happening. So I say to you all, coming from and I'm pretty sure Brian can, would say the same thing. I hope that part there and that post really, really, really catches you all's attention and thoughts, and really pay attention to it, so you can really know the difference for real, and the different ways to love, and that you should love, and that love works, and it is activated, as Brian explained it. Like he said, there's one way he loved me because because of the love of God, and that's the thing we're supposed to do. But then there's another part that we love each other, that's unexplainable, because we're brothers, we're best friends, and that part we had to come. We didn't see the other part we didn't have to wait on, because the love of God that's in us. We had to wait on that part. But this other part, as he said, we can say things to each other now that maybe a few years ago, we couldn't say to each other because we wasn't there and that comfortable. We learned to get there. And I'm just saying to you all, listen, I know with this COVID thing going on, everybody at home, wives and husbands, fiancés, and whoever you living with, I say to you, because we heard something yesterday. The reason why I'm saying this is because him and we had a show yesterday, and there was some things mentioned on there that tore my heart apart, and I know they tore his heart apart when we heard about that and we wouldn't know it's no names called, but this need to be known. The domestic violence rate in Hyden went up. And with that being said, we hoping that people would really understand the realness of love and love on one another, and not hit on one another and do ugly things or say ugly things to one another. If you're at home with one another and can't get along, we encourage you. If you know how to pray, pray. If you don't, and that ain't your thing, your cup of tea, listen, maybe if you can just get away for a moment. And I know the COVID thing going on, go sit in your car outside, go in the backyard, walk around the block, jog, something, but don't harm each other, because that's not love. And love is made up of things that cause you to never want to see the person that you love hurt in no kind of way. So we are saying to y'all, hopefully y'all got something out of that part, and even others, the post he put up. But that has really just caught me, and I'm glad he put that up last, because that really caught me and grabbed me and just hugged me tight. And it gave me the opportunity to say to you all and share this with y'all. And hopefully when you see it, you'll have some, as he said, what God do with us is he do some things to where, he don't allow that string to go, but it keep pulling at us, and it jars our memory to say to us, check yourself out, your unfairness, your uncaringness, your inconsiderate, and all those things, so that we can do better as people. And we're talking to men and women as people, so that you can say to one another, show one another with your real actions instead of telling each other with your mouth. I love you.
Amen. So, brother, I want to thank you, and I'm glad we got to talk about this, because now everybody understands why I have to put up with you so much,
Right.
So, well, brother, have yourself a beautiful and awesome weekend. I hope you get some fish if you're going to go fishing again.
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna try to get out there. We're supposed to have some rain coming up, but if it don't rain too much, then I'll probably get out there and reel a few of me, and things like that of the source. We didn't get a chance to do our prayer at the beginning, but we'll get a chance to do it before we get off of here.
Okay.
For us before we go off.
So you guys been watching Two Pastors a Guest and keeping it real. That's our mission. That's our goal. That's our job. And today, unfortunately, due to the weather and the COVID thing, I guess, but because people are having to work from home, but the weather knocked out our guest. And so I've been playing guest today, and Charles been trying to interview me a little bit. And we had a special episode today of Friday Facebook post flashbacks. That way we can kind of look at some of the posts that we've said in the past. It's kind of a fun game, way we can hit a bunch of different topics. We're going to have another person next Friday. And hopefully maybe we can get our guest back on next Friday and get all his Wi-Fi, getting power back and Wi-Fi turned back on and all that. So hopefully, Justin, we'll be able to get you back on next Friday, and we'll hop through your Facebook posts. So make sure you put some good ones in there for us. If you guys know anybody that would be a great candidate for the show, a great guest for the show, make sure you email us. I'm going to make you an easier email in the future, but right now it's info, I-N-F-O, at briancalliesministries.org, briancalliesministries.org. That is our sponsor. So just doing a quick little sponsor shout out. So thank you for Brian Callies Ministries for supporting our program. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the show, text SAVED, S-A-V-E-D, SAVED to 91999. Save to 91999. That'll get you started to help be a sponsor of the show and keep episodes going. And preferably we'll have our guests actually on the show rather than me having to fill in. But so you guys have a great, wonderful, blessed Memorial weekend. It is Memorial weekend. We have a very cool show, a very unique show that we're going to do on Monday. Normally our shows are only an hour, so today was a little different because it was just Charles and I. We just wanted to hang out with you a little longer. But on Monday is going to be an awesome show. So we are going to dedicate it to Memorial Day. We're going to dedicate it to veterans. We're going to dedicate it to those kind of things. We're going to have music. We're going to have just some amazing guests. We're going to have multiple guests on at a time, and y'all don't want to miss this. So make sure you come and check us out. Two pastors, their guests, keeping it real right here, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Make sure you like the page, put in a couple comments. And Charles, did you want to do a prayer out?
I want you to do it, bro. Would you do that for us?
Sure. Let's do a quick prayer out real quick. So, Lord, I want to thank you that sometimes we have weird things in our lives, trials, tribulations, that kind of stuff. Because what it does is it reminds us to come to you. It reminds us to reach out for help, but it also reminds us at how much we need you and how that we need other people. So right now we're in the whole COVID thing, right? So people are having to reach out to people and talk to people that they haven't done before. So Lord, sometimes those problems in our lives, those issues in our lives, those struggles, those trials, they cause us to grow. So Lord, I ask that you help all those right now that are watching, and myself and Charles, help us to grow to another level. Help us to get one step closer to you, God. It doesn't have to be the world's largest step, just a step closer to you. Help us to realize that every time, like Charles and I were talking about earlier, every time we back off from that pressure of what you're pulling on our heart, every time we back off, we just retreat into a bad idea. It's a bad situation. It's that rebellion is never going to get us to what we need. We're never going to be happy that way. But we need to be wiser and just step into you. You are joy, happiness, love, and kindness, and all the great things that matter in life. So, Lord, thank you for all these things that you do for us. pray for each one of those today that are going to have a blessed weekend, but also remember those that died for them, to give them the freedom and the gifts that they have. And just, Lord, thank you for everything you do. In Jesus' name.
Amen, 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 brother. And a real shout out, real quick, brother, to my daughter. Today, her and her fiance, she had a gender reveal today, and I'm going to be a grandpa again.
Did she have a new gender? Is that what you mean?
Yes, they had a gender reveal for her baby she's going to be having, and she's going to be. They had it today, and it's going to be a girl. And I
awesome! Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Marissa and Maurice, man, congratulations to you all, and our new baby grandbaby.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, granddad.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, again, guys, we're going to see you two pastors, their guests, and Keeping It Real right here, Facebook Live. We will see you next Monday, 7 o'clock. And also, we got to thank special thanks to, it looks like Josh Turner guitar, but it's also Crazy by Patsy Cline. It's featuring Allison Young. And I just thought this was really cool. Just thought you guys could kick out of it. Bless y'all. Have a good night.
Amen.
As long as you want it, and then someday you leave me for somebody new. Crazy.